based on great values, based on value of resistance against oppression. This for a Frenchman is very important. We have a resistance. And I knew enough Bangladesh, Mukti Bahini, to know that it would be a Muslim country, majority Muslim, but Muslim matching with democracy. This I understood very, very soon. At this time, there was not yet the problem of radical Islam, jihad, and so on. It was much, but I understood that it would be very different from Pakistan. Pakistan, even then, they have this idea of being the pure Islamic country. You know, Pakistan means the country of the pure. There was this idea of a fundamentalist Islam, which they were supposed to embody. In Bangladesh, it was a quite different situation. Of course, Muslim. I met so many people who were very vibrant worshippers of Islam, but with understanding of the other, with tolerance to other religions, starting with Hindus, and starting with Jews, by the way. The people whom I met during the Liberation War and after, they knew that I was French and Jew. It was not so important, but it was a fact. They hosted me and they welcomed me as a brother. So I knew that when Pakistan will become independent, it could be a sort of model for the Islamic world, at least, and maybe more. A model. When a new state appears, it's a new adventure, it's great. Everything is possible. It is like a white page. You start from zero. And I met Mujib several times. He was a wise man, a Democrat, incredibly open-minded, and a new state whose leader was such a man. For me, it was a great adventure. It was a blessing for the world. So I saw the birth of Bangladesh as a blessing for the area, as a blessing for the Muslim world, and as a blessing for the rest of the world. The Muslim world, boiling with very bad tendencies, fundamentalism, jihad, radicalism, and so on.
Monarchy.
And you see Bangladesh as a place of resistance against that. Bangladesh is practicing and pleading for and offering the example of another Islam. Open, moderate, democratic, many things. Number one, there was really a sacred union between all tendencies. In the Mukti Bahinis, you had people of the left, people of the right, people of the Communist Party, people who were pure nationalists. They did fight together. There was no question. Sometimes, when you were stuck in a hotel for one night because there was heavy bombing, Mukti Bahini began to speak. Who is who? Are you of the left? Are you of the right? Are you of the faithful, close to the CPI, to the CPI? But during the fight, there was a unity of all tendencies. This was for me a very important lesson. Another lesson which I remember, which it was important to me, everyone thinks that Indian army did the job and saved Bangladesh, which is partly true. India was great, and the intervention of India stopped the war. But the Mukti Bahini did a big part of the job themselves. And I remember some cities of what was called at this time East Pakistan, when Pakistani soldiers, Pakistani from Islamabad, remained in their barracks because they were afraid of Mukti Bahini. Mukti Bahini were strong. They were strong freedom fighters. And you had some, there was a very precise remembrance of cities or villages before the intervention of the Indian Army, before, yes, when the Mukti Bahini had the control of the ground. And the Pakistanis were already in a defensive attitude. This is why, by the way, the peace was so, the final push of the Indian was very quick. And the act of rendition of the Pakistanis, they did it easily. They were, as you know, in Dhaka, there was 10 times more Pakistanis than Indians. Pakistanis were more strong. You know, why did they surrender? Why? They were stronger than the Indians, much stronger. They surrendered because they knew that they had lost. And they knew that they had lost because they knew that they could not prevail on the Mukti Bahini. Because there is a mystery. Those who, for me at this time, when I see General Aurora, General Jacob, and so on, they were, I don't remember the balance of force, but maybe 1 against 5, you know, 1 Indian for 5, the Pakistani in Dhaka, maybe even 1 to 5, to 10. There was huge unbalance. Pakistanis were still strong, but they knew they had lost on the ground since probably November. So my second lesson for me was that when freedom fighters take the lead, they are invulnerable, impossible to break. And this was the Mukti Bahini. The one who has to be given credit for attracting attention of the whole world about Bangladesh genocide in Bangladesh, was Malraux. Really. When he made this statement on radio, on French radio, it was a thunderstorm. It was a blast. And he deserves really the credit. Before that, we knew, of course, I was informed. I was a student, I was politically involved, I was an activist. I knew that something important, tragic, was happening in Bangladesh, but not so well. I knew about, before that, about Biafra in Nigeria. Bangladesh, it was not big news. Malraux transformed it into a big world issue of world importance. Malraux put the finger on the fact that some crimes against humanity were committed here, and that all humanity should feel concerned.